The 50 Poorest Countries in the World, a 2024 edition. Hey everyone, Quadway here, and man, do we have a heavy topic for you today. We're diving deep into a complex issue, one that impacts millions of people around the globe: poverty. Specifically, we're counting down the 50 poorest countries in the world as of 2024. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another depressing list, I promise we're going to explore this with nuance and empathy. We'll be looking at the countries with the lowest GDP per capita, which in super simple terms is like figuring out how much money a country would have if it divided all its wealth equally among its citizens. But as you can imagine, it's way more complicated than just dollars and cents. We're talking about the historical factors, the environmental challenges, the political climates, all the things that contribute to a country's economic reality. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that's both heartbreaking and, dare I say, hopeful. We'll see the struggles, but we'll also see resilience, the fight for a better future, and maybe, just maybe, start thinking about how we can all be part of the solution. Our countdown starts in Burundi, a small, densely populated nation in East Africa. With a history marked by political turmoil and ethnic conflict, Burundi faces an uphill battle against extreme poverty. Its largely agrarian economy struggles to support its growing population. Next, we arrive at South Sudan, a nation grappling with the devastating legacy of civil war. The conflict has crippled its infrastructure, displaced millions, and left its economy in ruins. Malawi, a landlocked nation in southeastern Africa, is heavily reliant on agriculture, making it exceptionally vulnerable to climate change. Droughts and floods exacerbate poverty and food insecurity. Chapter 4. Mozambique. Recovering from disaster. Mozambique, a country with breathtaking coastlines and abundant natural resources, is frequently ravaged by cyclones and floods. These natural disasters disrupt economic activity and hinder development. Chapter 5. Sierra Leone, healing from trauma. Sierra Leone, still recovering from a brutal civil war and the Ebola epidemic, has made significant strides towards peace and stability. However, extreme poverty remains a pressing challenge. Chapter 6. Madagascar, an island of contrasts. Madagascar, renowned for its unique biodiversity, faces a stark contrast between its natural wealth and the poverty of its people. Political instability and environmental degradation hinder progress. Chapter 7. Democratic Republic of Congo. Rich in resources, poor in reality. The Democratic Republic of Congo, endowed with vast mineral wealth, remains plagued by conflict and corruption. These factors trap its people in a cycle of poverty and instability. Chapter 8. Central African Republic caught in conflict's grip. The Central African Republic, gripped by ongoing conflict, faces a dire humanitarian crisis. The violence has shattered its economy and left its people struggling for survival. Chapter 9. Niger, battling the desert and poverty. Niger, a landlocked nation on the edge of the Sahara Desert, faces immense challenges from desertification and climate change. These factors exacerbate poverty and food insecurity. Chapter 10. Liberia, recovering from years of civil war and the Ebola crisis, has made strides towards stability and development. However, extreme poverty remains a persistent challenge. Chapter 11. Chad, a landlocked nation in Central Africa, faces a complex web of challenges, including poverty, political instability, and the impact of climate change. Guinea, having endured political turmoil and the Ebola epidemic, is slowly rebuilding its economy. However, poverty remains widespread and challenges remain. Burkina Faso, facing a growing threat from terrorism and instability, is grappling with widespread poverty and displacement. Chapter 14. Rwanda, a story of resilience. Rwanda, having emerged from the shadow of genocide, stands as a beacon of hope and progress. Its remarkable economic growth offers lessons for development. Chapter 15. Mali, struggling for stability. Mali, facing ongoing conflict and political instability, struggles to address widespread poverty and underdevelopment. Togo, a small nation in West Africa, is making efforts to improve its economy and address poverty, but significant challenges remain. Uganda, with a youthful population and significant economic potential, is working to overcome poverty and inequality. Zimbabwe, facing economic challenges and political complexities, is striving to create a brighter future for its people. Ethiopia, a nation of ancient history and culture, is grappling with poverty, drought, and internal conflicts as it seeks to build a more prosperous future. Guinea-Bissau, a small nation on the West African coast, is striving to overcome a history of political instability and poverty. Comoros, an island nation in the Indian Ocean, faces challenges from poverty, unemployment, and limited resources. Gambia, a small nation with big dreams. Gambia, the smallest country on mainland Africa, is working to overcome poverty and build a more sustainable future. Haiti, recovering from disaster and striving for stability. Haiti, still recovering from a devastating earthquake and political turmoil, faces an uphill battle against poverty and vulnerability. Benin, a West African nation seeking progress. Benin, a West African nation known for its vibrant culture, is working to overcome poverty and create opportunities for its people. Tanzania, home to Mount Kilimanjaro and stunning wildlife, is experiencing economic growth while still facing significant challenges in reducing poverty. Afghanistan, grappling with the aftermath of decades of conflict, faces immense challenges in rebuilding its economy and addressing widespread poverty. Yemen, ravaged by a devastating conflict and humanitarian crisis, faces an urgent need for peace and stability to address widespread poverty and suffering. Sudan, facing political transitions and economic challenges, is working to build a more stable and prosperous future for its people. Zambia, rich in copper and other natural resources, is working to translate its resource wealth into improved living standards for its people. Lesotho, a small mountainous nation surrounded by South Africa, faces challenges from poverty, unemployment, and HIV/AIDS. The Solomon Islands, a beautiful archipelago in the Pacific, faces threats from climate change, deforestation, and poverty. Vanuatu, a Pacific island nation known for its stunning beaches and volcanoes, is vulnerable to climate change, cyclones, and economic shocks. Kiribati, a low-lying island nation in the Pacific, faces an existential threat from rising sea levels caused by climate change. Micronesia, navigating the challenges of isolation. Micronesia, a sprawling archipelago in the Pacific, faces challenges from its remote location, limited resources, and the impacts of climate change. São Tomé and Príncipe Island dreams global challenges. São Tomé and Príncipe, a small island nation off the coast of Africa, faces challenges from poverty, unemployment, and limited economic opportunities. Timor-Leste, a young nation building its future. Timor-Leste, a young nation emerging from conflict, is working to rebuild its infrastructure, strengthen its economy, and improve the lives of its people. Tajikistan, landlocked and striving. Tajikistan, a mountainous, landlocked nation in Central Asia, faces challenges from poverty, unemployment, and a challenging geopolitical landscape. The Kyrgyzstan, seeking stability and prosperity. Kyrgyzstan, a nation of breathtaking mountains and nomadic traditions, is striving for political stability and economic growth to improve the lives of its citizens. Nepal recovering from disaster, reaching for the summits. Nepal, home to the Himalayas and a rich cultural heritage, is recovering from a devastating earthquake while striving to reduce poverty and promote sustainable development. Myanmar, a nation in transition. Myanmar, undergoing a complex political transition, faces challenges from poverty, ethnic conflicts, and the need for economic development. Cambodia, remembering the past, building the future. Cambodia, still healing from the wounds of its past, is making strides in economic development and poverty reduction, but challenges remain. Bangladesh, a nation on the rise. Bangladesh, a nation of resilience and innovation, has made remarkable progress in reducing poverty and empowering its people, but challenges remain in areas like climate change and infrastructure. Pakistan, a nation with a rich history and diverse culture, is working to overcome economic challenges, political instability, and social issues to reach its full potential. Papua New Guinea, a nation of stunning biodiversity and cultural richness, faces challenges from poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. Laos, a landlocked nation in Southeast Asia, is working to overcome poverty, improve infrastructure, and promote sustainable development. Bhutan, the pursuit of happiness. Bhutan, known for its unique approach to development based on gross national happiness, faces challenges in balancing economic growth with environmental protection and cultural preservation. India, a rising giant with persistent challenges. India, a nation of immense diversity and rapid economic growth, continues to grapple with high levels of poverty, inequality, and social challenges. Vietnam, a story of resilience and growth. Vietnam, having emerged from conflict and isolation, has achieved remarkable economic growth and poverty reduction. But challenges remain in areas like income inequality and environmental sustainability. Philippines, islands of beauty, challenges of inequality. The Philippines, a nation of stunning islands and warm hospitality, faces challenges from poverty, inequality, and natural disasters. Indonesia, an archipelago of potential and challenges. Indonesia, a vast archipelago with a growing economy, continues to address issues of poverty, inequality, and environmental sustainability. Oh, what we can learn. That was a lot to process, right? 50 countries, each with their own complex story, but interwoven by this common thread of poverty. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to want to look away from such immense suffering. But remember what we talked about at the beginning. This isn't about pity, it's about understanding. When we look at these numbers, these countries, it's crucial to remember we're talking about people. Real people with families, dreams, and the same inherent dignity as anyone else on this planet. And when we remember that, it changes things. It shifts our perspective from one of apathy to one of empathy, from feeling helpless to feeling hopeful about the possibility of change. So what can you do? Well, you've already taken that first step. Educating yourself. Now share this video. Let's start a conversation about global poverty. Because awareness is the seed of action, and even the smallest act, driven by compassion and understanding, can make a world of difference. Thank you for watching our countdown of the top 50 poorest countries in the world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative